weird.
But yes, DJ,
The
like
fuck
I
is
was
this?
saying yesterday, like
Mhm.
seriously, don't worry about like if it's an awkward silence. Like really, you don't need to like we don't need like I'd rather us have silence than us talking over one another because I can literally hit the truncate silence button and it will cut everything. So
Oh,
it'll make
okay.
it sound like it'll make it sound like it's flowing. So
Yeah. Yeah, I can work on
I
that.
mean I think it's definitely more of like when I throw it to you, Doug, like that's kind of where it's like tricky, but yeah, definitely keep that in mind because it's much easier than trying to
True.
get back on track after we both said something, and then it's like, no, you go, no, you go, you go, no, you go, and it's just that like over and over again.
And you're sure you don't like that?
I mean, I personally find it somewhat entertaining, but I'm sure the listeners like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, I'm never giving these guys all of my money.
Dude, no one has even started to give us a little bit of their money. Well, except for that one guy, the Jew. The what?
Who likes you?
Holy shit. My foot, my thing's freaking out. All right, I give up. I'm never going to know whose number this is.
Okay.
Wait, you want to try to type it in
This
and
is,
see if it lights up for you?
this is fucking terrifying. This 5-on-3 with everyone on the Penguins just playing hockey.
Like, I'm just trying to go through all of the contacts I used to have in my phone and look if like one of them is the person, because like one of them probably is. I probably used to have their number. And I'm like, well, someone,
That I used to know.
but then some of the people I'm like, I look at like their number, like their name doesn't have a number attached to it for some odd reason.
Where are my
You know what I'm saying?
contacts? I can never find my contacts. I do
Like,
not know where they are.
someone
Let me
felt
get
the
back.
audacity to wish me happy birthday via text. And
Yeah.
they did
All right.
this.
What's the number?
Well, it's 585
It's my mom.
698
Oh wait,
8866.
okay, no, I don't have
This is
it.
not your mom. I feel like I have your mom's number.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm
It's
like,
probably your mom.
you're probably right. All right, this one actually is worth it. Nope, not that person. I keep clicking on people and thinking like, it's got to be this one. Like I could see that, but then I'm like, why don't I don't know. I'm
Ooh,
gonna give it.
kill him! Ooh, kill him! Breakaway Oilers.
Who is it?
Oh, Dave.
What?
44 is Keston, right?
Yeah.
He made like a decent move, but got stopped on the backhand, and then he tried to get the rebound and just fell into the boards. Like he just couldn't skate. But McDavid fed him the
Boy,
pass.
unoptimal. All right. I think I gotta give up on this dream. I'm never gonna know. I didn't want to
All
ask,
right.
so I just didn't ask. I was like, I feel like asking weird.
Cursory glance at Vegas tomorrow. The 6 over/under games currently are Buffalo, Arizona, Dallas, Winnipeg, Rangers, Tampa, and Vegas, Boston. So
Quite
keep
fun.
that one in mind. Yeah. Doesn't even feel like the Sabres are in the NHL.
They're not. I
We haven't
mean,
played them in DFS in so long.
they haven't played a
What?
game in forever. Yeah.
Yeah, because they played the mid-afternoon game like on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, Saturday. All right.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
because they were on a 2-game slate on Wednesday too. So yeah, it's literally been like a week and a half since
Dude,
Eichel
they're
has
so
scored.
bad. I just don't even care.
What is? All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. It's 10-10. I'm fucking ready for bed.
Risto is 4.8. Just
We'll get to her.
okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Morning Skate Podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell to cover the gigantic Thursday slate. So, DJ, we're finally getting to a real hefty slate. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It was my birthday. Didn't really do anything special besides take an accounting quiz and cook for homeless people. So yeah, really fun.
Sounds like you have some good karma coming your way then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, doing pretty good in DFS tonight at least. I mean, tomorrow is going to be more of the celebration, and all weekend, me and my friends are going to celebrate because I have like two really close friends with birthdays over the weekend, so I'm just kind of like the calm before the storm. This is a weird birthday. It snowed. It's just ugly. It's like, counting quiz was hard. It's just a good time. Just a really fun birthday. But I'm just excited to watch Game 7 of the baseball game and talk about some hockey.
Yeah, so let's just go right into things here. We have a 12-game slate ahead of us, so there's really no time to kill. No Doug tonight. He is super busy with some real-life school stuff, and yeah, he'll be back for next week's series of shows. Obviously, tomorrow is a 2-game slate, so there'll be no podcast, so this will be the last show before we hit the weekend. So let's go to the slate. The games that we have are Vegas at Boston, the Islanders at Washington, Detroit at Ottawa, the Rangers at Tampa, Columbus at Florida, Philadelphia on a back-to-back at St. Louis, true road back-to-back for Philly, Montreal at Minnesota, Dallas at Winnipeg. Why does it seem like Dallas and Winnipeg play all the time?
Yeah, they're having a good time together playing.
I mean, just an observation. Carolina at Colorado, Pittsburgh at Calgary, Buffalo at Arizona. Last game, Pittsburgh was on a back-to-back as well, a road back-to-back, and Toronto on a road back-to-back at LA. So 12 games, 4 of them are 6 over-unders. That is Buffalo, Arizona, Dallas, Winnipeg, Vegas, Boston, and Tampa, the Rangers. So we'll be sure to give those special attention. I think no arguments from either of us about those games being viable DFS targets.
Absolutely.
So let's go just in order of start time. And that just so happens to bring us to Vegas at Boston. The main news here, DJ, did you see the Boston line changes from this afternoon?
You know what? Hold on. I had it up a second ago, but I don't have it like this second. So hold on. Why don't if you have it up, you say it because I'm gonna find it.
Yeah,
again.
I mean, basically what they did is they put Bergeron between Marchand and Pastrnak, loaded up that first line. So, the hamsters down here going at it.
Yeah, I could hear like a faint something in the background. I was wondering what in the world it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Anyways, they put the 3 studs together on the same line. So that's obviously a spot that you'll want to get some exposure to. The pricing on them is rather high. I mean, it's definitely not like through the roof or anything. And I certainly think you should be doing your best to get one of them in. But Bergeron and Pastrnak both come at a nice 6,900, and Brad Marchand is 7,200. So, early on, DJ, what are your thoughts? Like, if you're playing one of them, is there a certain guy you're having a lean to? Anything like that here, just among those 3 against a terrible Vegas team?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pastrnak is my favorite DFS play from this game. He just has a great DFS build and an unbelievable shot. I just think him and Bergeron would be the 1-2 I put together. You never know out of those 3 who could go off, but I definitely I feel like I tend to go with Pastrnak over Marchand a lot more often. And then that unit did all run on the power play as well, so they really correlate extremely well. Another guy that was on the power play, it looks like, was Danton Heinen, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you could get contrarian by going in Pastrnak and Heinen. I'm not exactly sure how Heinen projects as a DFS player. I know we've heard his name before. He's 3.6 tomorrow. I don't know how many minutes he'll get. His shot volume is, I would say, suspect at best. He has had a couple decent games here or there, but I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll let you.
If you look at his AHL numbers, Heinen's not necessarily a shot producer. However, for 3.6 on the power play 1 and looking like he'll get 12 to 13 minutes, I can't tell you he's a terrible play. Just because Vegas is terrible and Boston's power play should be pretty lethal. But I think if you're looking to try and get some cheap exposure to that power play, Torrey Krug is sitting there at 4.4. That's kind of silly. I mean, I know he doesn't play the minutes that someone like Charlie McAvoy does, who is also a very strong play. just because McAvoy sucks up so many minutes for this Boston team now. Um, but Krug is less expensive than McAvoy and is also on that power play one. So I think Krug is clearly the top D option from Boston. And, as much as I think we all love Shea Theodore, like last game showed that he's not quite getting the role necessary for a DFS roster spot. Like he played 16 minutes with some power play time, but still 16 minutes just isn't going to cut it, especially on a big slate and just on a terrible team in a bad matchup. So, any other thoughts on this game besides the first line of Boston being a very strong play?
Yeah, no, I think that's the main thing from this game. I'm not looking at all at the second power play really, unless if you want to go McAvoy, and if you're going to go with McAvoy, maybe DeBrusque could be like someone kind of on your radar, but I don't know. That'd be like a contrarian stack to consider. I'm kind of done with Vegas. I feel like as far as like I never know where the scoring is going to come from, so it's really hard to stack. I mean, some of the guys in that team have looked really good, but I'm just not confident really in anyone on that team to just consistently produce. But I think if I had to take one guy, like someone was holding a gun to my head, I don't hate Nate Schmidt, but I don't think he's at all a cash play, and that's getting pretty contrarian.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's not good. Don't play Vegas. Let's go to the Islanders at Washington. Washington's struggled to start the year. I don't have their actual record up in front of me right now, but I can tell you it's not exactly what many would have expected out of the Capitals, except for one Mr. Mitchell.
I was gonna say, but whatever. I mean, right now, excluding the Devils, because come on, like they're not going to continue this. The Blue Jackets could be in first place. They are they're tied with the Devils for first place, and Washington out of the playoffs. So I don't know. Whatever. I'm not here to boast and brag about me being right, but what is it? Whatever. It's okay. Whatever.
So with that said, do you have any interest in the Islanders side here? I mean, John Tavares is piping hot right now.
Well, Greg Wyshynski had him as the number one player in the world as of right now. I don't know if you saw his rankings. Did you see those articles?
No, I haven't.
Okay, yeah, he's like doing a new thing where it's like going from all the leagues and finding the best players and then like picking one at the end. But Johnny T with 2 hat tricks in a week and then 2 goals in his last outing against Vegas. He has 11 goals in 12 games. Definitely like we've been saying it for a year and a half now. Like, oh my God, you got to play Johnny T. I think he's definitely still in play, but not nearly as strong as a play as he was back when he was down at like a little over 6K. I don't think I'll have too much exposure to this game, but I don't think it's because it won't be. There's scoring to be had here, but I don't think I'll have a ton of exposure. It's really hard. But what was the Vegas on this one? It wasn't a 6 game.
No, it was not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let you talk, but I don't think I'll have much Johnny T. I do think he's an option, but this price has gotten up there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I like about Tavares personally is that if you play him, it's not like you're playing Boston where, like, if you stack his line, like, if you stack that Bergeron line, like, you are getting nothing the rest of your team. So the nice thing about the Islanders is that first line for Tavares, you got Tavares up at 7.4, but then you have Anders Lee at 5.5 and Josh Bailey at 4.2 as line 1, power play 1, perfect correlation. So in reality, you're not paying that much in hopes of a Tavares explosion game. That said, I'm probably buying low on the Capitals versus like trying to sell everything I have on them. So this is definitely a spot where I would maybe say, like, if you're playing 20 lineups, like maybe a Tavares stack or 2 could pay off just because his ownership should be so low. But definitely nothing that I'm looking to build my teams around.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing any like breaking news that's going to change anything for me right now. But I do think that there's some value. I think you kind of are getting at this a little bit. There's some value on Washington. I mean, Backstrom's on at 6'2". They had a guy named Chandler Stephenson on their second power play. I have no idea about this guy, but I think he's definitely worth mentioning as he had 16 minutes and the power play too looked like he only had about like 0 minutes, but he was out there for it. He doesn't look like he's really projecting as far as his first 3 games, only has 2 shots on goal and stuff. But I'm kind of wondering if like, the reason why I'm mentioning him is because I wonder if there's a chance that he skates with Ovechkin and Kuznetsov tomorrow, as Devontae Smith-Pelly was there last game. But that could change, I feel like, and I'm definitely interested to see what they do in the morning skate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's not really anyone like that has that sort of pedigree. Vrana's been up there and his price has gone way up, so he just kind of falls off the radar, especially now that he's kind of back on the third line.
Well, he was with Backstrom and Oshie last game, right? He
Because
scored,
Burakovsky's out, yeah.
and he's at 3-8, so I think he's in there.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't play power play time at all, so
Yeah, like it's just kind of weird. For me personally, I'm looking at John Carlson just because he is so. I mean, I'm just not sure why he's still 5.2. He plays that power play 1. He plays a ton of minutes. Like, yes, he burned us last game, but I don't really have an issue going right back to the well. He has shown over and over again that he is worth way more than 5.2. And in a home matchup against the team in the Islanders, it's going to push the pace. They're not a slow team at all. I think Carlson's my top value from the Washington side. And then on the Islanders side, in addition to that cheap stack of Tavares, Lee, and Bailey, you can also get Matthew Barzal at center at 3.9, and he is good. Like, he is all over the puck. He had 5 shots in the most recent game. Like I said, he's playing on the power play 1. So another really strong value play there. So I think this game has some sneaky upside. And I didn't even mention Ryan Pulon, who I'm just not really all that interested in until he gets the first power play unit. So keep an eye on that, but it doesn't seem like that'll be anytime soon, given that they've finally started scoring on the power play.
Yeah, I don't mind moving on, but I do like the Barzal take. I think he's an option, but we can move on to the next game. I think that this game, I think has some, like, you never know with Washington's top 2 lines if they could break out and have a 3-point night, or the Tavares line, but it's really not something that I'm feeling that confident in as of right now. Both teams are pretty decent on defense.
Okay. Detroit at Ottawa. The important news here is that Kyle Turris should be back in the lineup. I know I mentioned this on Tuesday, or Monday maybe, and Turris ended up playing, or not playing, excuse me. So that kind of led to Pajot and Broussard being slightly better plays. With Turris back, their value kind of gets killed. I don't really think that there's much in play here. Like, yes, Detroit's bad, and someone like Hoffman and Carlson are very good. But they're at a price where I just don't think they're necessary plays. So I think my top play here would be Mike Hoffman, even at 6.1. Like, he's still absolutely viable. But I don't see myself spending up on Erik Karlsson. Did you notice, DJ, that he was a -6 in the game against the Canadiens?
I'm seeing it right now, so yeah. Now I know. Like,
that was amazing. Like, imagine on FanDuel getting a negative from Erik Karlsson.
I mean, they don't have.
Yeah, but they don't have plus minus anymore, obviously. But that would have been hilarious if that had been the case.
That would have been quite painful to watch. That's the big news from the game, though. The Turris news. But yeah, I don't think I'd have too much exposure to this in GPP, or really in cash. I don't know if there's one guy that jumps off the page. Obviously, things can change and news can break, but I really don't trust any of the lines from Detroit to put up huge numbers.
No,
and
never.
There's no line on Ottawa that's going to get the maximum exposure that you need to. I don't know. There's nothing here. I mean, they had Dennis Wideman on their freaking power play 1 last game. Like, what?
I don't know. I don't care. Like, it's Hoffman or bust.
I mean, what's his name? Manico,
DiDomenico.
DiDomenico. I mean, people might kind of jump on him because he's had 4 points in his last 2 games, but that's including only 3 shots on goal. And his price, while it's not at 2.8, I mean, his price was at 2.8, so he definitely absolutely smashed the past 3 games. It's not at 3.6, and I don't know if he'll still be on that second line or not. So I am definitely not on board with that.
Today they skated Peugeot, Hoffman, DiDomenico, but yeah,
They did?
it's really only Hoffman for me. I think it's really crazy to expect anything more.
Oh, I found their lines. I'll retweet their lines now. I just found their lines right as you said it. I was like, oh, there it is. 12 hours ago. Man, we're doing this kind of late tonight. That's why I didn't go back that far. Okay. So I am good to move on.
Yeah, to the Rangers at Tampa. Tampa Bay, today it was announced that the NHL's first 2 stars of the month are Nikita Kucherov and Steven Stamkos. As you might notice, they play on the exact same line, and they are playing against the New York Rangers, who have been atrocious on defense.
Inept. I mean, did you watch the Vegas game at all?
It was just awful.
I mean, wow.
If I were Lundqvist, I would have skated off the ice.
There was a couple plays in there that I felt very, very bad. Like watching McDonough get dusted by William Carrier, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it's William Carrier. Like, come on. Yeah, I watched Stahl make a play in front of the net to give up a goal that was just sad. Oh God, it's bad. But can we stomach the prices of Stamkos and Kucherov? I mean, I don't even know. Like, stacking them together is just really breaking the bank.
So, do you like 6 goals and 18 assists for 24 points in 13 games, DJ?
No one would complain about those numbers, no.
No, I do not believe so. So, obviously, like, if you think they'll cool down, they're an easy fade. But for me, this certainly is not the matchup where I would expect such a thing to occur. Good God, man. And then Kucherov is obviously just incredible. I think I saw something dating back, like his last 38 games, he has like 35 goals, or just something absurd. Because as we know, he finished last year extremely hot as well. So, I mean, he's done this for more than just the 13 games that you're seeing in the game logs. So, obviously, they're a top stack tonight. It's really your own decision. If you can find enough value that you like to roster these 2, absolutely go ahead. Any other value from this game that you're looking at? I don't think we're looking at any Rangers, despite their heavy offensive output. But correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, we talked about the Rangers on the last pod, and they're probably going to run the same lines and do exactly what they did. I still think Buchnevich is a good play. Tampa Bay did give up 5 goals to Florida. I think the Rangers do have some upside in them, and I think Buchnevich would be the guy. As far as Tampa Bay, I am really hoping Killorn could get a bump in minutes because he's been putting the puck on net enough. He's on the first power play, but he's on kind of line 4, I guess. Like I maybe call it 3A or 3B. So I don't know if you could really play him with only getting 14 minutes of ice time. I don't know. It's tough.
It's definitely weird when you're trying to stack Tampa just because their lines are so fluid. The reason I like to play Stamkos and Kucherov is that they ice like 11.
Yeah, but they did last game.
That's true.
So I don't know. They did 6 and 12. So I don't know what they're going to do.
There was a late scratch there or something. Or maybe I'm thinking of the Senators, but
I'm not positive, honestly. But I mean, like, I'm reading it now, and I think that's possible because Dumont played line 3 with Callahan Kunitz. Well, that was in minutes at least. More of a line 4. I don't know. I really don't know. I think we're going to have to wait till tomorrow to see what their lines are. And if they are running 11, that puts guys more in play. But if they're going to run 12, I might fade the top line. Do you think there's any merit to going with like a Point Palat stack?
I just think that's getting cute. I mean, they're good, but I just that's very much GPP only, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that's a flaky GPP play at best, just because Kucherov and Stamkos' shooting percentages are. Like, I think there's some belief that like they can sustain it. I do not think that like the duo of Palat and Point are going to shoot 20% all season. Like that's kind of ridiculous. So I'm good with just Stamkos and Kucherov if we can afford them, and moving on to the next game.
Let's do it. Even though I just
All right.
exited. So it's Columbus at Florida. The news is that Atkinson is not going to play, or at least he didn't travel with the team, but is likely to rejoin the team. It's an illness. It's not a major injury by any means. But Atkinson still being out brings my boy Boone Jenner right back in the limelight, I feel like. I still think he's one of the top plays. His price just is not going up. Well, it went up. It went down from 4.7 to 4.5, and now then 4.3, and now it's 4.4. So it's gone down from the beginning of the year, and I still think he's an absolute smash play.
Yeah, I mean, Boone Jenner is one of the better shot producing like per minute guys out there, and with him kind of getting a late start on the year due to injury, he's definitely gone overlooked at least by the DK pricers. But he's playing a premium power play role. Obviously, whenever Boone Jenner plays, he's one of their top 5-on-5 minutes guys, and he gets you that massive floor. So at 4.4, Boone Jenner is a smash cash play, and yeah, there's no one really else on Columbus that I would love to play. I think some guys are stackable, but mostly they're just a little bit too expensive for me. Like Bjorkstrand did play that power play one role for a bit in place of Atkinson, but he only played 13 minutes on the whole, and that was with 11 forwards in because Atkinson was kind of a late scratch up in the air thing. I would expect Torts to roll out 12 forwards again, and it doesn't seem like Bjorkstrand is going to feature. So, not really too much other value here, and I think the studs are better off paying that money on another game. So
yeah, I agree. But what about the other end of this? What about Florida? I mean, or actually another name, Florida, or do you have any interest in the Columbus Blue Jackets defenseman? Werenski's down below 5K now.
yeah, I mean, Werenski just hasn't really been all that impressive. I mean, he's been fine, but like I don't really think he's a must play. I don't think Columbus is like a team that I really want to stack in cash games. I absolutely prefer Boone Jenner over Werenski. So the Florida side, I mean, I think Barkov, Huberdeau, Dadonov, they really earned our attention last game. Like despite getting kind of run out of the building by the Lightning, they still managed to combine for I think 11 points on the night. Dadonov had 3, Barkov had 4, and I think Huberdeau also had 4. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, last game I had like that whole first line. So definitely really nice.
Yeah, feeling
That
good
was
about that. Huh?
yeah, I mean the sim had the whole first line. So I mean really the sim was
That
the
is true.
reason. Um yeah, but I don't know. I mean, do you think that there's like let's say you're making a cash lineup, was there any one on Florida that you think is like a must have to like a strong consideration?
Um, must have no, but again, Aaron Ekblad be underpriced. If you look among defensemen last year, he was third in the NHL in shot rate among D, and Ekblad is now on the first power play, where he hasn't been in, I think all of last year. Yandel was on that first unit as well, and the two play together, Ekblad and Yandel at 5-5. So it's not like you're really losing out on any exposure there. So with Ekblad's shot rate being so high and his price being so low, I think he is a very nice play. Um, but by no means do I think he's necessary on the 11 game slate, but just another guy to kind of keep in mind as you're building your
Yeah. All right. Well, you just want to move on to the next game?
team. Yeah, Philly at St. Louis.
Yep.
Philadelphia looks to be, I mean, they were down by 2 with a minute to go last time out, and we saw what happened. Losing still, but overtime by tying it up pretty insanely. But they're just about to wrap up a 2-0 loss to the Blackhawks and then head into St. Louis, a team that I really respect defensively. So for me, no interest on the Philly side. But for you, are you interested in like the Voracek Giroux stack, or because I know the sim well?
No, I'm really honestly looking to fade Philly and probably take some guys from St. Louis. I just don't like taking teams, especially stacking teams on a back to back, because I feel like they slow the pace as much, like at least a bit. I don't like. I think if I was going to do anything, I consider Voracek and Provorov, barring Gossester shouldn't be playing, so he's not expected to play. So I think if I was going to do anything, it'd be Provorov with Voracek. I don't think I could really stomach much more than that for Philadelphia. But I do really think that Schwartz and Tarasenko is going to be another strong play. I mean, they have been all year. They've been like the second in line to the Kucherov Stamkos stack, like the worst one, you know?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the St. Louis side here is mighty interesting. You know, I'll kind of have to do some more digging as to like how the back to back really affects things. But as Philly's been playing recently, actually, these two teams are combined for the lowest expected goal output given like their performances over the last 10 games, so pretty much the entire year. So this seems like a relatively paced down affair for me, and there's no one value wise that I would recommend. So I think this is a game that I'm completely staying away from. So
Yeah, I'm fine with staying away from it too, but I think that Tarasenko Schwartz would be like the one kind of go to. I can't imagine paying this price for Pietrangelo.
No, absolutely not. So you just can't play. That's kind of the gist of the pod. So
yeah,
can't play everyone. Let's move on. Minnesota at Montreal, another game that I'm just not really interested in. Montreal exploded last time out. They were kind of due for that. Like they've been playing decently well and just getting no shooting luck, and that reversed in a hurry. But Minnesota at home never spot on the target, and while I think a guy like Nino Niederreiter is a decent play, like for cash games, playing alongside Eric Stahl and playing a good amount of minutes, I don't see the need on such a giant slate, really.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't know if I would say this is like a total fade, but I really don't see much on either end that's just screaming to me like solid play. We had Lehkonen, Druin, and Byron as a line. I don't know. That's like kind of interesting. Hudon and Lehkonen were kind of the two guys that I think many people in the analytics community were saying like should start scoring. And Lehkonen had 2 and Hudon had 2. So it was really nice to see that happen, but I don't think I would pile on either of them now. They might get a bit of a bump in ownership. So yeah, this game for me is just kind of like a maybe last minute I could consider some sort of a stack, but I think this could be a game to take a goalie from, if anything, which I don't like to say often.
Mm-hmm. So for me, the Montreal person that I'm like would be the most interested. Max Pacioretty below 6,000 is actually borderline egregious. I mean, he is just such a consistent shooter, and he's obviously the go-to guy. So like, if you're saying like, look, I'm just looking for like the guys who should be 6,700 and are simply like almost $1,000 too cheap, and you're like, I think those are the best cash plays. I definitely don't argue that line of thinking. But for me, it's more about targeting spots than it is actual players. Like I'll look for the spot first and then the player, which is why Pacioretty's not on my radar. But if you have a slightly different view of things and want to pick like the player with the best price, regardless of matchup, kind of thing, Pacioretty's certainly up there at still below 6,000.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But I'm just, is there anyone on the Minnesota side? I mean, Niederreiter's back, a bit banged up, but he's back now. I look at this Minnesota team and I just don't see like any guys that are standing out to me as like I don't mind the defenseman, but I really don't like to try to gamble on defensemen alone unless if you're like Brent Burns or something. I mean, Suter had a fine game. He had 30 minutes with like good shots plus blocks, but I don't know. I don't know. Like it's 5-2. It's like it's not a great value.
Yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't really think anyone in Minnesota is worth playing, but I just find it really funny that like we're literally saying like Suter, he had his normal game. He played 30 minutes of ice time. Like,
Yeah,
that's normal. That's totally normal.
He just played
serious.
half the game, whatever.
Yeah.
So you wonder if like Olofsson just sits on the bench like pouting, like, come on, I only get 12. Come on, coach.
He was just out there.
Does he just live on the ice? Okay, we can move on now.
Yeah, to Dallas at Winnipeg.
Yeah, I feel like these next 4 games are like the most interesting and or the ones I'm going to target the most. So I feel like we finally are getting into like the best part of the podcast.
Boy, well,
what do you think about that take?
A lot to live up to then, huh?
Okay, well, I mean, while I pull up all the information that I haven't pulled up yet, why don't you begin to talk about this game?
So everyone in Dallas at Winnipeg is super expensive. I think that the public perception of these two teams is much higher than like their actual daily fantasy relevance. So to be completely honest, I still think that the earlier games we talked about in Vegas, Boston, and Tampa Rangers, even the Islanders, Washington, are more interesting to me than this 6 over under. So, that's kind of my line of thinking coming into this one. Like, you're not getting any discounts on anyone like Sagan or Ben or Wheeler or, Klingberg. Like, they're all expensive. So, Kyle Connor's been playing the power play 1 now alongside, or as well as being first line with Scheifele and Wheeler. He did have 5 shots on goal last game, which was certainly promising. He also picked a goal. So, he now has, it's 4.5 in his most recent game and 6 DK points. So I think he's going to be mighty popular. But at that exact same price point is Boone Jenner. And I am much more willing to go for a guy who's been a consistent shot producer and still what is an exceptional role. Like, it's not like he's in any worse spot than Scheifele is. Mm-hmm. Than Connor is with Scheifele. So, Connor's definitely a secondary cash play to Jenner for me, and no one else really piques my interest. So, how about you?
I mean, I think this game is interesting, but it feels like some of the guys, like at the beginning of the year, if you would have been like, Ehlers is going to absolutely outshine Laine, I would have been like, I don't think that's going to happen. But that's definitely been the case. I think Laine, it is a great chance for him to kind of get back in his groove. He's on a 4-game no-goal streak. Actually 4-game pointless streak. His price is kind of it's kind of stayed the same, but I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. So I think he's a fine GPP play. With that being said, it really is just kind of the top 2 lines for Winnipeg, as you already mentioned, or the first line for Dallas. I always like Tyler Seguin. I do not mind this matchup. Winnipeg has kind of struggled on the penalty kill for last year and this year, but do you believe in this kind of Connor Hellebuyck revival, redemption, if you will? He's been really, really solid with a 940 save percentage to start the year. Do you think there's any merit to that? Like, I know he was a pretty decent prospect coming into the NHL.
It's just that the thing is, it's not just a Connor Hellebuyck thing. It's that like the Jets are actually playing like solid defense. Like, as weird as that may sound, like it's actually happening. So of course it goes crashing while I'm trying to pull it up. But like, if I look at the expected goals model that just kind of runs in the background in R, and it spits out the like overall matchup. So like Dallas at Winnipeg is only the 11th ranked team on a 24 team slate, and Dallas has been really good at 5-on-5. So what that tells me is that Winnipeg's been really good defensively at 5-on-5.
Yeah.
So when you're a team that plays a somewhat up tempo game but's doing a good job limiting chances, like that's always a really nice spot for a goalie to be in. So yes, of course, a 940 save percentage is exceptional, and it's probably not going to last. I definitely can see why that may be happening, because last year he didn't have any help defensively. and for whatever they're doing by choking out their own offense, that kind of helps their defense. So that's kind of why I'm off this game, just because both teams have this perception of being go, go, go. And so far this year, absolutely, it could change, but they've been very sound in their own end. So I'm ready to move on.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I think this game, it might just be more of like a aesthetically pleasing than actually like huge upside, but I don't mind targeting Seguin and Line at all, which is going to be really tough to do because they're really expensive, but those are kind of the two guys I'm considering. But we can move on to the Carolina at Colorado game. This one I feel like does have a lot more like sound value plays. From the Carolina side.
Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, I've almost sworn off Carolina, especially on these big slates. Like they are just
why?
They just I don't know, they just never seem to do anything. Like, you play them and you're like, oh my god, look at this, they're gonna do so well. And then you watch and you're like, wait, it's 1-0 going into the third. Like this is what I signed up for, and that's just what Carolina does. Like, yes, they're cheap, but they're not like, it's not like you have anyone who should be like 7K on this team, and they definitely do split their power play units, which is always an issue to me, between like the Skinner unit and the Aho, Lindholm, Teravainen unit. So until things start to change in that manner, especially in a road matchup, like if they were at home against Colorado, I would be a bit more interested. But going on the road, I think there's better plays and more like not injury related situations, but just like better overall contexts in better matchups that I think are daily fantasy relevant.
I don't know. Man,
So
I guess.
So who are your favorite plays here, DJ, for Carolina?
Aho's going to get his first goal tomorrow. I mean, he's still goalless, and he's been his shot numbers are not terrible. Like his metrics are there for him to kind of be that. I think the next guy to sort of break through this bad start to the year. I mean, he's almost averaging 3 shots on goal per game. I'm sure he has more shots in general. I don't have that number up right now, but his price has finally got back down to 5K, and that's fine by me to take at this point. Other than that, Teravainen at 4-1, like this is exactly the price we were waiting for all year. He's just had a really cold 4 games. Like before that, he was definitely in consideration. So he's bounced back from one game he only had 4 minutes. I'm guessing some sort of an injury. 18 last game. I think Teravainen and Aho stack, even though they don't play on the same line together, I am totally fine with.
Okay, I'm just I'm looking up the shot rates for the Carolina guys, just because I'm kind of curious to see like what they're doing at this point.
Well, their pace has always been so high. I just can't imagine that like this sort of lull that they've had in scoring is going to last, and I think that's a good time to jump on it.
I mean, it's been a lull in scoring for 5 years, though. Like that's kind of the problem.
Well, it's time for it to change, okay? This is the time. This game, they scored 22.
So the entire roster, including the coach, is your guaranteed goal for?
And Matt Irwin.
Always a pleasure to be around DJ, huh?
Got to throw it back to last pod. Okay, but yeah, I don't mind moving on from this game. I really don't have any interest in Colorado. I mean, McKinnon is like sort of. I mean, he had 2 goals last game, and I feel like at his price of a whopping 4.9 will definitely give him some sort of consideration from people. I don't know. I feel like. Do you think it's because I called him out like a little bit, even though it didn't go through, and then like I came back and like mentioned it again, but I kind of called him out. He had 7 shots on goal last game. Like he had a really, really good game against Chicago, so I think there's something there.
Yeah, that's absolutely the reason. So looking at the Carolina numbers on the season, Jeff Skinner is up at a 24 iCorsi per 60 in 10 games. That's behind only Tarasenko and Ovechkin in terms of like people who've played the full allotment of their team's games, and right ahead of Evander Kane, Tyler Seguin, Brent Burns. So Skinner is pretty good.
Yeah, but Skinner's kind of like I feel like he's the ultimate loner. Like
Oh
he
yeah,
plays
for
with
sure.
Ryan and Kukunanen.
Kukaninen? Kukaninen?
Kukunanen. I mean I've on it Cuckoo for
Rasmus Risto Kukan.
he's not even on the slate unless if no I don't he's not coming up.
You're
So
probably just spelling his name wrong. It's like
no, I'm well
K.
unless it UOKK. It's not showing up. Look if you can
Oh
find
wow.
him. He's not there. I mean,
Okay, yeah, no, he's not.
I'm looking at HockeyViz,
Got
typing it in right up there. So I mean, like this guy's not even on the slate. So it's like you could
good job,
go,
DraftKings.
yeah.
Yo,
Well,
it's the Luke Cunnin effect.
yeah, I know. No, 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 no.
They
No,
pulled.
it's yeah, they pulled him off. Why? Like I didn't understand.
I don't know. It doesn't seem difficult, but
So
anyways, to further the analysis into shot rates, next on the team at 17.6 is Justin Falk. That is in the Clayton Keller, Roman Yossi, Arturi Lekin, and John Tavares range. That's pretty good.
yeah, it's a good range to be in.
Sebastian Aho is right behind him. So
Yeah,
Taylor Hall, Hornfist, in addition to the two other guys.
and at 5K, you wouldn't play those guys?
I definitely don't have a lot of interest in them. No.
Okay, so Aho Skinner stack. Well, actually, speaking of Taylor Hall, he's having I think he has 4 shots on goal in the first period. So
Good
whatever.
Uh,
All right, we can move on now. I'm down
Are
to
you
move
saying
on.
12 shots on goal in total for what's his face for Sebastian Aho?
Taylor, I mean bare minimum. We can move on.
Okay. Yeah, Pittsburgh at Calgary. Pittsburgh on a back-to-back. I think really the only news here is Yager is out for this game, so like no power play one Yager or anything like that. Like for me, it begins and ends with the Michael Backlund line. Like they are, like, stop me if you've heard this before, but they are way too cheap. They play a ton of minutes and they play on the power play together. They are just simply too good at professional ice hockey to be ignored. And when they come in at like below 5K on average, like that's where you can really get a nice GPP stack and fit in some of those high end guys. Tavares, Stamkos, Stamkos, Kucherov, that sort of thing. This is how you get that by playing highly correlated, talented players that are simply too cheap. And against the Pittsburgh team on a back to back, and that they have a lot of holes defensively. I'll be nice to them and say that. But we've seen Pittsburgh get torched more than a couple times this year, like absolutely blitzed.
Torched by the Flames.
Oh,
whoa!
The narrative.
There's a narrative there. All right. I'm gonna retweet the lines right now for our fans. Go on.
I mean, I think that was pretty much all I was going to say about it. Like, I think that the 3M's line is awesome. Sadly, Dougie Hamilton, it seems to have really lost his role. He's not playing above 20 minutes. Like, the power play time is still there, and he's still, like, fine overall. But I definitely don't think that he's, like, a must-play. Even though you look at him and you're like, Dougie Hamilton for 4.5, like, that's great. But definitely an option for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. This is tough. So let's Calgary at home. They're gonna match up the 3Ms, Backlund, Tkachuk, and Frolik, in case you're wondering what that is, with the Crosby line, correct?
Likely, yeah.
So how do you think that affects their output?
I don't think it does at all.
Okay. I don't think it does that much. I think a lot of people are gonna be on Hornqvist again tomorrow. I was all over him tonight, and he's already having a smashing game from where we stand. So I think a lot of people are going to be back on that train, and I wonder if it might not be the smartest play in the world, but not the worst. At 5K with Crosby, I definitely think it's in play, but I like the 3M's line to stifle them a bit more than whatever line matched up against them in Edmonton. There it is. I was going to say in Oilers. Sorry, go on.
In Oiler Town.
I was going to say in Oilers, and I'm like, okay.
So right now we are at the 10-minute mark of the third period. Hornqvist has 7 shots on goal and a goal.
Yeah.
He's played 13 minutes. So it looks like he's on pace to finish somewhere around the 16-17 range. I would expect him to be somewhat popular given that he's having a strong game right now, given his price and given his historical ability to produce. So definitely a very, very strong play at 5,000. It seems to me like you can make a pretty good cash team with some cheap wingers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's a lot of really good value at the wing. So let's just say really quickly from this game, 3M's line, and if you had to pick one defenseman, I said, we'll get Hornqvist too. But if you had to pick one defenseman from this game, is there anyone that you think, you would stack with any of the guys we named from either team?
Well, Letang is just too expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think you can pay 6,000 for a defenseman on this slate, given that there's so many guys in the low 5s to high 4s that are just great. So I guess Dougie Hamilton, but definitely not a strong take at all.
Yeah, all right. So I'm fine with it. I was kind of getting to the point that I don't think there's really much defense stackableness with these lines.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't go 3Ms with any of the defensemen. I think if you're going Hornqvist, you can consider Crosby. I don't think he's way overpriced, but I don't know if I love that stack. So I think Hornqvist alone, and then probably like Backlund Frolik, or you can throw Tkachuk in either way. Okay. Maybe even Frolik and Tkachuk. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. So to Buffalo, there's been a little bit of news from the Sabres, being that Eichel, Kane, and Pominville were back together on a first line. And they called up Nicholas Baptiste, who will make his debut for this season at 2.9, but I don't really think he's in play. He'll probably won't get too many minutes. But the Sabres have been just really, really bad, but only Arizona's been worse. So what do you think of this game? Clayton Keller's price way up from what it was, but his point streak is now at 8 or 9. So, well, warranted. I'll just kind of throw it to you from there. Is there anyone in this game that you're really targeting at a 9 over under? Oh my God, in a 6 over under, but 6.9. I think that's always in my head. I was actually looking at Ryan O'Reilly's price at 5.9. I was like, wow, that's up there. And I think the 9 was from there. But
DJ is absolutely betting the over on this game.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So, Ristolainen at 4.8 immediately jumps out to me because, if you kind of missed the boat already, if you're like, hey, that Kane, Eichel, Pominville line seems decent. Yeah, you missed out. Jason freaking Pominville is already 5.5, and Evander Kane and Jack Eichel are both about 7,000. You are getting no value on this stack, so that's pretty difficult. The good thing about Keller is that his line mates, Derek Stepan hasn't really seen an increase in price. That said, Derek Stepan hasn't actually contributed to Keller's point streak at all, which is beyond. It's kind of fascinating. So you can at least kind of get a cheaper stack alongside Keller. That said, neither guy is. I don't think it's outlandish to say that this game will probably be terrible between two terrible teams, and maybe you can dig up some value in someone like Jason Demers, or ride the Oliver Ekman-Larsson death bandwagon one more time.
The tilt wagon.
Oh my God, he is down at 4,400. You can do that, but I think Risto's my top play for this game, just because power play 1, likely to see probably the most minutes of anyone on the slate outside of Ryan Suter, and it should be a decently paced affair. So blocks, shots, and the power play points, I think, contribute to a decent floor from him.
Yeah, I think the Eichel Kane Ristolainen stack is going to be strong. I have it a lot because you're so much Corsi from those three. Mainly Kane has been just an absolute monster. The guy has, you want to guess how many shots on goal he has through 12 games?
Well, I've already looked it up, but he has 60.
He has 60, Matt. Well,
60.
great. That's an excellent guess. Number 9 has 60 shots on goal. So that's just great for the Buffalo Sabres team. I know I'm going to have that stack in a GPP or two. It's just like, does it completely shatter your bank account? Your salary? No. I mean, yes, kind of. Bristol Lions cheap enough where I think it kind of makes it okay.
All right, so before we get to this last game, I have a sad story to tell, and it's about the last time the Sabres traveled to Arizona. So this was last season in early March. I was in Honolulu, or Waikiki, Hawaii, on a fantastic vacation. And I look at my phone, and I'm like, hey, the Sabres are playing. I wonder how they're doing. They came out of their bye week. They were, I think, 4 points out of the top spot. And they had Colorado and Arizona on the schedule. And I was like, oh my God, like, is this for real? Like, they could do it. They were on a nice little winning streak. No, absolutely not. The last time I held hope for the Sabres team was on the beaches of Waikiki, Hawaii. And I don't think that'll happen again. So,
right. I was going to say it, Matt. Have you been a fan of Buffalo sports for 22 years, going on 23?
That is correct.
Did you expect anything other than misery and disappointment?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Thursday night, go Bills.
Yeah. But seriously, like as a Browns fan, I am about to throw my Browns everything away and just join Bills Mafia for the rest of the year. So if you want to make fun of my Browns, go right ahead. I don't even care anymore. They're so freaking bad. Okay. They can't even get. Okay. All right. No. Last game. Sorry.
Last game. Let's do this. Power through. Toronto at LA. We have Toronto on a road back-to-back. It should be the ideal spot to target this LA Kings team. That's been surprisingly good. Like, just overall, they've been smashing. So this is definitely a spot that I am willing to jump on. DJ, you said you were liking most of these late games. I'll let you lead off here.
Yeah.
And give me some of your favorite Kings to play.
I really think I'm going to take Toffoli and Doughty. They're not on the same power play. Wait, why aren't they on the same power play? Are you there?
It's been like this all year.
Wait, what? Well,
why did all year?
Why did I think that they? Oh, it's because that Doughty was on. I was gonna say, like, I feel like I watched some of their last game, and they were on the ice together for the power play, and they were, but not for that long. Okay, no, but I think
they were together for 0.9 seconds against the Boston Bruins in overtime, and Toffoli scored.
Okay, yeah, it might have been. I don't know. It might have been that game. I remember watching them out there together, and like maybe I'm just thinking back further than I thought. I thought they were on the same power play for some reason. But I think Doughty at 5.5 is really good value.
Agreed.
You had some news though. I feel like that you wanted to say, and I cannot remember what it was.
I mean, I was just reading about Alex Iafallo beforehand because he has yet to score a goal on the season, playing alongside Kopitar and Dustin Brown. I don't really think it was DFS relevant, but I was just reading it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he has 28 shots and no goals. So, if he's playing 17 minutes a night at 3.7, even without power play time, I'm personally not looking at Brown or Kopitar at all. So that's kind of makes it easy for me to not play him. But I definitely agree with you, DJ. I think Drew Doughty is a very strong play here. I think he's the most expensive outgo on this slate. Like, I think he's the top overall defenseman. Like, of the 5.5 and above guys. So, given the minutes, given the matchup, and given just offensive excellence he's shown this season, he has 5 blocks plus shots per game and a very good point producer. So,
yeah, I mean, I almost think like, man, I don't know. I was going to say something, and now I'm not sure if I want to. Nope. I really think you could go Pearson, Toffoli, and Doughty as a stack and hope for some 5-on-5 time because they don't correlate on the power play, which is like.
Yeah, well, the thing about Doughty is that like if he's ready, he'll be out there. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if he's good, he'll stay out there for the second unit sort of thing. So it's definitely not the craziest thing in the world.
Like I know as a new Bills fan, I do love the name. It's not spelled the same, but it's like McDermott was the defenseman for LA on the second power play. So he is a processor on the power play, that second unit. But I mean, only getting 12 minutes. That was a Bills reference. I'm not sure if our podcast guys are going to guess they're going to get that, but he's not in play at all. Like this guy is definitely not a play. But yeah, no, I really think I mean you got to trust it. But no, Doughty, Toffoli, Pearson. I just don't trust any other line for LA, and I think they're in a really good spot. But then again, I'm not sleeping completely on Toronto, but I just feel like on a back-to-back against a pretty. I mean, they've been really good LA team. I'm leaning towards LA winning this game, but if I was gonna go with Toronto, I think I would just have to ride that Matthews Nylander train, which is super expensive. I don't know if there's really anywhere else I could trust to go. It seems like a lot of their players have been getting short shifted and or like benched. Been a lot of guys that have had random like holes in their minutes. They're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's really nothing that interests me from the Toronto side, so I'm sure that's not a surprise. Anyways, are you ready to guarantee some goals and head on out of here?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a big slate. There's so many options here. Do you have one guy in particular you wanted to start with, or?
Geez.
I could go. I go with my upper price guy because I have that.
All right, you go ahead.
I definitely want David Pastrnak tomorrow. I think he's going to be kind of my upper priced cash guy for wing, and then I'll probably pencil in some of the cheaper guys we've mentioned throughout the podcast. So I think he'll be my upper price guy.
Okay. Why? I kind of just want to take Stamkos, but then I have to really go dumpster dive.
Yeah, you do. Okay. I mean,
let's not do that.
Yeah, the thing about taking Pastrnak is that it fits me into that perfect range of like 4.6 and lower. I don't want to go right back to the Jenner well. So, I mean, I think I'll go with. Oh boy, it's a really nice range. It's just there's like a lot of guys that we. Yeah, it's like we've taken Buchnevich and Lehkonen and all those guys like so recently, but then again, that doesn't make them bad plays. They're non-guaranteed goal guys. You know what?
I will go Michael Backlund.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player in the NHL that knows how to do things and could score a goal.
Yes. So that would leave me probably right around the Pastrnak range, to be honest. So let me dig around a little bit.
You won't take the same guy. It does. I mean, no. Oh man, I will take. You know what? God, this is. Oh my! I keep like almost landing on someone. I was gonna say Boone Jenner, and I'm like, I just took him last slate, like big slate. Yeah. I can't do that again. You can't just go right back to the well. It's against the law.
I will go with Bergeron.
All right, I'll go.
Why not? Let's do it.
I'll go for a leak. I'll take the other guy on your line.
Wow, that is some terrible radio. But
wait, you don't like Michael Frolik?
Definitely. Well, no. I mean, we just literally picked two guys from the same line.
Okay, fine. Do you not want me to do that?
I'm just saying. Like, I felt bad enough as is.
Well, why'd you feel bad?
Because, I mean, now people are going to be out there only playing Boston and Calgary guys.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, yeah, the whole
plays.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick with it. I like that. I don't mind that at all. Like, that's not a bad thing to do. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it live.
All right. So, anything else you want to mention before we head off for the Thursday?
I mean, have a great weekend. Follow us on Twitter at MorningscapePod. Go to our website, morningscapepod.com. Rate us, review us. Actually, I'll check while you say those things if we have any rates or reviews. So you say anything you need to say. I have not looked all day.
Yeah, so I guess some personal news. This doesn't affect the Morningscape podcast at all, but I have agreed to join Fantasy Labs as an NHL writer. writing their 5 players to watch articles. They do that daily. I'll likely be writing 1 to 2 times a week, and I believe my first assignment will be Friday, 10th of November. So definitely like not a today sort of thing, but keep an eye out for those. In full candidness, I know that they are currently free for everyone at the moment. I'm not sure if that's just like an early season thing or if that'll be changed. But if you do have Fantasy Labs, if you have a subscription, keep an eye out for that. I'll be looking forward to kind of like getting started over there. And if you don't, keep an eye, see what over there is free. I mean, I know personally I use their team lines. I know that's where Doug pulls the Sims data from. And I also really like their Vegas tool because it shows kind of where the money's coming in, like how the lines move throughout the day. And that's kind of where I get my barometer for Vegas. So even if you don't want to pay for Fantasy Labs, it's kind of cool like that I get to write for them now. It's really one of the, it's another one of the bigger sites out there, and it was just kind of popped up. So really looking forward to that. DJ, did you find a review?
No.
No. Dang it, guys. Well, if you want to yell at me for joining the enemy, even though it doesn't affect podcasting in the slightest.
How would they be the enemy? Like, they don't even do anything with hockey. I feel like I've never like.
They have like an NHL video every few days, maybe.
Really?
That could be enemy territory.
I mean, sure. Join the enemy, man. I don't know. I like Fantasy Labs. Their podcasts are good. I'm not mad about it.
It's really cool.
They did not ask me to join. They actually want me to be their editor for spelling and typing names from memory. Yeah, so I mean, whatever. I'm gonna take it, and they need the help, so whatever. But yeah, that's all I got.
For sure. Anyways, we covered where to find us on Twitter at WinEscapePod. We retweet stuff, news throughout the day. So on a big slate like this, that'll really come in handy. And check out the website, morningscapepod.com. Doug will have the sim up and running. Obviously, as you can tell, we didn't have it for the show. So definitely keep an eye on the sim to kind of see what the true numbers-driven analysis is saying about this slate. So from Doug, from DJ, and from myself, have a good slate, everyone, and we will see ya.